Welcome to my channel, Life After Losing My Child. On this channel, I like to talk about my own personal experiences after losing my daughter. The purpose of this channel is to have a place for those that have suffered the loss of a child where they could come and find hope and inspiration as they move along their own individual journeys of healing. If this sounds good to you, then hit the subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification, the bell to stay notified for my upcoming videos. So it's been a while since I've been on, and the reason for that is because I'm also a grieving parent. So the holidays kind of hit me hard, and then excuse me, and then in February, the 24th marked the death of Brianna. So it was difficult for me to kind of go through the holidays, my birthday, New Year's, and then also her death date. So I just kind of took a little hiatus off. I think the last video I did was the holiday video. So I'm back. And I've been reading this magazine, and it's called Still Standing Magazine. And they have different articles. They're actually, well, the way I seen them was through Facebook. So I'm kind of going to be going through some of the articles and just giving feedback as far as how I feel about whether the articles ring true to me, and feel free to comment on how you feel about it too. So the first article is called 6 Things to Never Say to a Bereaved Parent, and it was by Angela Miller. And so she named 6 things. I'm going to just go right into it. She says that there seems to be a large gap. I'm reading, so that's what I'm looking at. Seems to be a large gap between intention and what's being communicated to those of us who are hurt, which we all, those that have lost children, can definitely understand that point. People say things, but then the way you translate, it doesn't always help. So the number one thing she says that you never say to a bereaved parent is that time heals all wounds. And she says, last time I checked, in my journey of trekking through the imaginable, time hasn't been working any overtime hours in healing me. And even if in some faraway planet, time does heal all wounds, it doesn't make it helpful or comforting to hear that when you're suffering in the ditch all alone. So she talks about that not all wounds heal, and no matter how much time has passed, not every wound turns into a scar. So not all suffering ends in this lifetime. She suggests that those that are trying to support, instead of saying those things, would actually say things like, what would feel helpful to you right now? Is there any way I can help carry your burden? What do you need most today? And I'm always with you, and I love you. So as far as like that being a number one, I definitely feel that way. I definitely feel like they say time heals all wounds. I remember saying like, well, then there's not enough time, because this wound is always going to be open. Like, I don't know if there's enough time. I remember saying to my mom, I was like, man, even when I'm 83 or however old I live till, I was like, Brianna will always and only be 13. Like, in my memories, that's all I got with her. So I definitely feel that whole time heals all wounds thing. I hate that. You know what I mean? I'm sure you probably could sympathize. Then again, maybe hearing it has been helpful to you to think like that. In time, okay, you know, this wound will heal. I think in time, it gets, let me say the right words. I think in time, at least for me, the wound isn't as open, that that the pain isn't as readily available. In that first year, for me, the pain was like unbearable. Probably first, second year, maybe even leading into the third. The pain was like unbearable. It was, all I can say is it was agony. It was like constant agony. Like there was no escape from it. So, but as time has, gone on, I do notice like little by little that the pain's not like right there at the surface. It's still there. It still hurts, especially you just saw or just heard me say I took off for holidays and her death date and stuff. Like those things still ring true. I mean, it doesn't even take a special time. It could just take me waking up and realizing she's not here to be in pain. So, I mean, not that I have to wake up and realize she's not here because it's like an everyday thing, but you know what I'm saying. To be really conscious of it and not be so busy all the time, because that's what we do too, is kind of distract ourselves. But to like just really wake up and be like, man, she's not here, like that hurts. And it's been 6 years now, so I don't know about that whole time heals all wounds, but I do know for me that in time the pain hasn't been right at the surface like it was in the beginning. So I mean, that's kind of hopeful. I hope that it's helpful, and I hope that it's hopeful. It gives you hope that in time, even though it won't completely heal, it won't be as readily available to. She says number 2 thing to never say to a bereaved parent is let go and move on. So she says this could come in a form of people saying things like, you'd feel better if you let go. You're hanging on to him or her too much. That's why you're so sad. If you could just let go and start living again. Those kind of things. I think luckily, no one's ever said that to me. And I would say luckily for them. Because if somebody told me to let go, I might let go on them. So, good thing they didn't say it to me. I gotta laugh at myself sometimes. Okay, so, but she does say, she says, what on earth is there to let go for grieving parents? She said, what else can they let go of? They've already lost the most precious treasure of their entire life to death. We've already been forced to let go of someone who would have given our own life to keep. The only thing we have I can't read today. The only thing we have left to hold on to is our child's memory and our abiding love for him or her. And in doing so, we courageously move forward, but never do we move on. So, like I said, I definitely feel that way. I can agree with her. As far as moving forward, yeah, you have to. Because the world is still going to keep going. So, and when I say like you have to, I just mean like eventually you move forward, whether that's taking a shower, starting to eat again, trying to do things to even like be able to sleep again and like normal regular stuff. Like you have to move forward. I think also because you still have a purpose here, so it's hard to find that purpose, and it's hard to even think that way when you lose a child, but you do have a purpose here. So and she says that supporters should say things like, hold on to me, I'll walk with you every step of the way, no matter how painful. I'll be with you every breath you take apart from your child. Tell me about your beautiful child. What was he like? What did he like most? So yes, instead of saying move on, as a supporter, maybe you could help us move through the grief. I don't think there's ever like an ending point of this whole grief thing, because they're forever going to be gone from us, and it was our child. So I don't think there's like an ending, but I do think you can navigate through it so that it's not as difficult. Number 3 is have faith. Don't tell a parent that. Angela points out and says that people say phrases like, if you had faith, this wouldn't hurt so badly. Um, things like that. Or you got to increase your faith. Um, I remember somebody telling me, like, oh, you can't question God or something. And I was like, why not? And I was like, God gave me an analytical mind. God gave me the ability to question Him. And I always said, for grieving parents, to me, because I can only speak for me, I don't know, there might be like grieving parents that are atheists or whatever you decide to believe. I mean, it's your own personal choice. But for me, I always was like, man, I hate when people try to give me like some spiritual insight or all this stuff as though I don't have that because I lost my child. And also, I always say those that have lost children probably are seeking God a whole lot more than most other people because we have to believe that we will see our child again, or we have to question, even if there is a creator, is there a spiritual realm? What is happening? You know what I mean? And I think it increases our faith, or you could be angry at God and it could decrease your faith, whatever way you want to go with it. But I definitely feel like, as a grieving parent, that you're constantly questioning this whole faith thing, God thing, existence, mortality, immortality, all that stuff. You're like trying to figure the world out now because losing your child doesn't follow that chronological order, and it doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean? So, I mean, just my thoughts. Number 4, everything happens for a reason. This is what Angela says. Another number 4 is another thing you shouldn't say to grieving parents. Um, she says that sometimes life just plain doesn't make sense. There's no reason good enough in all heaven and earth that my son is buried under the ground while my feet continue to walk this earth. These are her words, Angela Miller. I get that most people say this in an attempt to make what makes sense of what is senseless, but instead, let's just state the truth that it makes no bleeping sense at all. So, I don't necessarily agree with that. I do think that everything happens for a reason. It might not be a reason that I understand. It might not ever be a reason that's good enough. But I do think that things happen for a reason. I do, um, for me, I think that because in my mind, that my child, or even this realm, like me being a mother and daughter and that whole relationship, um, I think is limited to this realm. I think that she was a spiritual being, and so am I, and that there are times that we go back home, and that is something that I had to endure, and that it has made me more loving, more empathetic, and maybe I am trying to make sense out of the senseless. I mean, those are her words, but perhaps she could be right. I don't know. Maybe I need that in order to still go on. I'm not sure, but to me, I think everything does happen for a reason. I think it's not a reason I like, it's not a reason that I'm okay with, but I think that there is a reason to it. And I don't know, I'm starting to I don't want to say make peace with it because I'm not at peace, but I'm starting, I guess, to reflect upon what lessons can I learn from losing my child and trying to move forward in that way. So she suggested saying, well, I'm sorry, it isn't fair. There's no good reason this happened. You don't deserve this pain. I wish you could take it away from me. It breaks my heart seeing you suffer. This is complete BS. I'm so sorry. So I don't know where she is with her grieving. You know what I mean? Like, maybe she's this is just how she feels. Maybe she's angry. Maybe um, she's not angry and she just feels like this is what it is, and uh, it makes no sense. But once again, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that no, there is a reason, and even for me being able to make these videos and to reach out to people and help them with healing. I'm not saying my kid died for that, but um, there is something, I guess, good that can come out of it. I don't know. Still trying to figure that one out. Number 5, she says, at least. Don't ever say at least to a grieving parent. And I get this one because, yeah. So, that whole, any sentence, this is her words, Angela Miller, any sentence starting with at least should never be spoken to a bereaved parent. Never, ever. People will say things like, at least she didn't suffer, at least he died young, at least you can have more children, at least you got your child as long as you did, at least it was quick and painless, at least you're blessed to have him at all. Yeah, I definitely hate that because people have said that to me. I have another child and people are like, oh, at least you have another child and this and that. Like, that could be hard too because then you still have to go on, and then you feel like sometimes, just say me again, for me, that it's hard for me to grieve. I don't want to completely fall apart in front of my child, so I can't necessarily go through the grieving, I guess, whole full force or wholeheartedly or whatever. It's like I gotta reserve a certain spot. You know what I mean? She's seen me cry, my surviving child, plenty of times. But what I'm saying is, like, to completely go into that non-stop crying and all that stuff, yeah, I'm not able to do that. Which sometimes you need. You need to be able to, like, totally release all that stuff. I mean, I have done it, like, in the car or when I know she's asleep, things like that. But that whole, at least you have a child and all this stuff. I mean, I'm so thankful for my child, but no child replaces the other child. So I don't even understand why, like, people would say that. Like, makes no sense to me. So she says that you should try, supporters should try saying things like, I miss him too, I wish he were here with us, what are your favorite memories of him or her, what helps you feel close to him or her when you miss them the most. So for supporters, those are things that you could say that actually help. You know, I think sometimes supporters don't know what to say, so they don't say anything, but a lot of times that hurts us so much more because it's like, as though our child never existed or something. No one ever talks about them. I don't get that one. But number 6, kind of reminds me of number 5 a little bit. But be thankful. She says it's something you shouldn't say to a bereaved parent. People tend to say things like, "Be thankful you can have more children." And she says, "Newsflash, not everyone can." Be thankful for your living children. Be thankful that you had your child at all. We're grateful for each and every precious moment that we are blessed to have our children. And this gratitude for every single blessed moment is what keeps our heart beating. And if we do have other living children, you better believe that we're grateful to the umpteen degree that our children, for our children that we still have, but that doesn't take away from the lifelong pain of living without one or more of our precious children. So she suggests that supporters try saying, I'm thankful for you, I'm thankful for your child, I'm thankful for our friendship, I'm thankful to witness your courage, bravery, and strength. And once again, it kind of goes back to what I just said. People always, be thankful that this and that. And it's like, yeah, I'm probably like more thankful, cherish all those precious moments. Like I was saying to people, I really understood that whole thing now of like the best things in life are free. They really are. Like love, peace, joy, sunshine, flowers. Like, I was so serious. I appreciate everything because I know that in an instant it could all be gone. And we all know that. Us that have lost children all know that. You know what I mean? It could be going so fast. And it's like, man, how we really are thankful for every moment. That's why we don't get caught up in like the little things anymore. You know what I mean? If you notice, I'm sure you have, like, stuff that used to bother you doesn't bother you anymore. It's really not that serious. And we're really thankful to like be here. In the beginning, yes. Was I thankful to be alive without my child? No. I was angry. Every morning I would wake up, I was angry to even be awake. Because I'm like, this is the existence I'm still in without my child. But in time, as that like passes, and even in the beginning when you're angry to be alive, you start to notice though that you're so thankful for like the smallest things. Like I'm so thankful to be able to see and be able to walk and be able to talk, and like I'm so thankful because I know this doesn't have to be the position I'm in. Like I'm blessed to be in this position. I'm blessed to still have my mind and to not totally lose it. You know what I mean? Like that's a blessing. When you lose your child, you could totally go somewhere else. And trust me, I was on the brink of that many times. And I just was like, God, please help me. Because I'm like about to completely lose it. So I say that to say, because I kind of rambled and went somewhere. But I say that to say, we definitely are grateful. Grieving parents are definitely grateful all the time. Um, if you're a supporter, hopefully you got, some tidbits you could take when you have those that are grieving that you know about. And if you are a grieving parent, then or grandparent or sibling or whatever, and you can relate to this video, I hope that you can identify. Leave some comments or whatever. I'm back up. Excuse me. So I'll be doing these videos again. I don't have all the fancy schmancy stuff. I'm trying to get a light so I can do better videos. But in the meantime, whatever. Hopefully it's just the content that you really can connect to, because that's the most important thing. And thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.